One of the biggest games of the year, Starfield, has arrived, and after a sleepless night and a long day, I can tell you it's a pretty incredible game. The footage you will see is from the first 5 hours, and please stick around until the end because there's a crucial tip that will save your playthrough if you're planning on picking up Starfield and playing it. Thanks to Bethesda and Keymailer for sending a review code my way. I was very impressed to see that this game ran well on my aging PC. I've been playing the game on about medium. I'm on an i7 7700K and a 1080 Ti with 32 gigs of RAM. And if you look at the minimum specs, I'm not that far away from being phased out of existence. So I was really worried that this game was going to tank the system, be so chundery it wasn't worth playing, and to my surprise, it plays well. Most of the settings are on medium. The only area that you will see a major shortcoming is the lighting, since I'm on a pre-ray tracing card. And even then, the game still looks really good. Honestly, Starfield plays better than most of the Bethesda PC versions that I've tried, and that's impressive here at launch and before the modders have had a chance to get their hands on the game. The music and the sound design is simply incredible. In fact, that's probably been one of my favorite parts of the experience so far. The music is like this evolution of Fallout and Skyrim elements that build in nostalgic epic vibes and fully pull you into this universe. Plus, there's a new dialogue system for persuasion, and I think the mechanic is pretty fantastic. You have a certain number of chances to convince the NPC that you're talking to side with you, and each of your dialogue options has like a riskiness factor associated with it. The riskier the dialogue option, though, the more potential points you get towards persuading that NPC to your side. And if you don't save scum, it's a really cool system. You can fully nullify it by just save scumming, going back and retrying it, but I liked this a lot. It felt way more immersive than just pressing the button and then it looks at your stat, rolls a dice, and you're done. This game is big. It's huge. I mean, this is one of those games where you're going to be finding side quests 100 hours down the line on multiple playthroughs that you've never seen before. And this is where that crucial tip comes in that I talked about at the start. You want to beeline the main story quest for your first 12 hours or so of the game. Depends on how fast you play. I got there around like 10 or so hours. You can easily get sidetracked early on, and you don't want to do this. Trust me, you need to stick with that main story quest. I won't give any spoilers, but it will improve your experience dramatically, and then start tackling some of the unique side content within this game. Honestly, that's the beauty of a good Bethesda RPG, and this game has that DNA written all over it. I'm on my 15th Skyrim play. I'm 100 hours in on the Switch, and all I'm doing is side quest stuff that I've never done before. And Starfield will be the exact same way. 6 months from now, people are going to be discovering things that they weren't necessarily expecting. This ties into, though, some of the shortcomings of the game's initial 8 to 9 hours. The game does not land super well in the first 3 or 4 hours, and I think if you look online, there's a lot of outlets that are saying similar things, a lot of content creators who are going not really blown away by this just yet, and I'm in that same boat. The first 4 or 5 hours, while pretty, didn't do anything that knocked the socks off, and I think where it derailed for me is the fact that while this game is not Star Citizen or No Man's Sky, the way this universe is connected is mainly through fast traveling and menus, and the menus are a little bit clunky, and that fast traveling can break the immersion of this large interconnected space sim. Even though it's not really a space sim, I get it, it's an RPG. To go from system to system, you're going to fast travel. To go from, the system to the planet's surface, you're going to fast travel again. It's not one of those games where you take off, you fly into space like No Man's Sky, look at that system, press a button, and jump to it. You're pretty much going to be hopping into the menus for each of the main steps of the quest. And the way the initial 4 or 5 hours is laid out, it can then sort of feel like this disjointed, individual cordoned off little worlds. And that's not necessarily the vibe that I got when I was watching the trailers or the longer form deep dive videos. It's not a negative. It is something that gets better with time, and when you get into the flow of things, makes sense. But recognize that in that initial 10 hours, put your effort towards the main story quest. There are some crucial developments and upgrades that you want to focus your time on before you get dug into the rabbit hole of some of that side quest content. Some of that menu bloat and the confusion in those menus will be solved by modders, I'm sure, within the next couple of months, if not sooner. I know there's mods already coming out for the game. People are insane and incredible. If you have the choice to play this game on the Xbox or the PC, I would push you towards the PC route any day of the week. because with mods, this experience is going to be like none other. Visually, it's insanely impressive. The artwork, the level of detail, and immediately just being pulled into what happens every time I play a Bethesda RPG. Searching every nook and cranny of each room, looking at every item, picking up things, the inventory management, trying to find the best loot you possibly can. Make no mistake, it's a Bethesda RPG at its core. And if you like those games, then I think you're going to like Starfield. It's been very impressive so far, and I'm looking forward to checking back in with you after I've had many more sleepless nights and long days and wrapped up the main quest and put a few dozen or 100 hours into the side quest content. Let me know if you're playing Starfield, if you're enjoying it right now, and thanks for watching this video. We'll see you again in the next one.